Hello, my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm a self-published author of young adult paranormal romance, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about The Lion King. Not that one. Oh no, that one. If you watch my Broadway Baby Bracket Challenge video where I took all of the favorite musicals that made it into my top tier in my ranking video and put them up against each other, you will note that Wicked won for my most favorite musical and The Lion King won for my second favorite musical. I'm not going to talk about the plot of The Lion King too much because I'm assuming at this point everyone and their grandmother knows it. My grandmother certainly did because she would watch it with me while I watched it over and over and over again as a child, and she also saw the Broadway musical with me, so she knew the plot. And for people who haven't seen it, a very crude description is it's Hamlet with lions. The original animated film of my childhood came out in 1994, and the Broadway production came out in 1997, 3 years later, and the same year I was born. I went for my 5th birthday with my grandma, her brother, his wife, and my uncle, and my mom, and I have seen it since, and let me just say that if you ever get the chance to see it, it is magical, but especially magical if you're sitting in the orchestra for when the animals parade in down the aisles for the Circle of Life. This month's Vanity Fair is running an article called How the Lion King Became a $9 billion Broadway smash hit, and I will leave a link to it in the description down below, and it chronicles how the musical almost didn't get made in the first place. You can also see the story in a similar fashion as told through interviews if you have the Lion King Special Edition DVD with the special features, or if you have it on iTunes. Even though everyone has joked about the meaning and the pronunciation of the opening chant of the Circle of Life, it is actually Zulu, which is the official language of South Africa, and it means "Here comes a lion, father, oh yes, it's a lion." And the words are up on screen, but I will also link a video down below and in a card of the official lyric video that the Broadway production has released. In the 1994 animated movie, South African composer Lebo M sings the chant while Carmen Twilly, the singer, takes over and sings the song in English. In the Broadway production, the actress playing Rafiki, who has always been South African in every production, sings the whole thing, including the chant at the start. Given we are all still at home, or if you're not, you should be, I will leave a link to a 360 version of the Circle of Life that Broadway released on YouTube. You will need to either watch it on your phone or in Google Chrome, as Safari does not support 3D video. After the 1994 movie came out, Lebo M then continued to write songs inspired by the Lion King story, and the album is called The Rhythm of the Pride Lands, which was entirely in Zulu. Broadway director Julie Taymor brought him back to translate some of those songs, and they made it into the Broadway production in English with some of the Zulu intact. The other songs from the animated movie are obviously in the Broadway production, and those, if they are completely in English, were written by Elton John. In an interview with Screen Junkies, movie director Rob Minkoff wrongly says that the lyrics are in Swahili when in fact they are in Zulu, but words like Simba and Hakuna Matata are in Swahili. Simba means lion and Hakuna Matata means there are no problems, which has been changed to it means no worries in the song Hakuna Matata. He Lives in You is a song from the Rhythm of the Pride Lands album and was originally completely in Zulu and then partially translated into English for the Broadway production. It stands in for the scene where Mufasa is telling Simba about the great kings of the past and the stars, and the song was then put into The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, which is the animated sequel to the 1994 film, and is basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, the same way The Lion King is a Hamlet retelling. Fun fact, the actor who was the original Mufasa on Broadway is Samuel E. Wright, and he is the voice of Sebastian in the animated The Little Mermaid. Another song that originated from the Rhythm of the Pride Lands album is Shadowland. It is sung by adult Nala and tells the audience why she left the Pride Lands in the first place before she runs into adult Simba, who has been living a life of Hakuna Matata with Timon and Pumbaa. It comes right on the heels of The Madness of King Scar, which is a song that Scar sings as king, where he laments why he is not as loved as his brother Mufasa, and he also hits on Nala, which causes her to leave. When the live action 2019 film was announced and Beyonce was cast to play Nala, I assumed that they would be giving her a song in the story, which they do not, and I had been hoping for this storyline to make it into the film, but it does not. There was precedent for me hoping for such a change because The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast both have animated versions of Broadway songs that were not included in the original animated film, but can now be watched. In The Lion King's case, the song was The Morning Report, which greatly expanded on the pouncing scene, and it has since been cut from the Broadway production because it was full of puns that I'm sure went over kids' head, but you can still listen to it on the original Broadway soundtrack. Similarly, The Madness of King Scar, which I mentioned earlier, has been truncated probably because of its adult themes and was therefore not as enjoyed by kids and potentially deemed not as appropriate as it originally was. Perhaps the biggest change from the 1994 musical movie to the 1997 Broadway production is an added scene in the second act that illustrates Simba's PTSD, because while everyone knows that seeing Mufasa's dead body in the animated film was our generation's Bambi, you don't necessarily see how traumatized Simba is once he starts living his Hakuna Matata life, and this brings it back to the reality of what it must be like for him. I already mentioned Vanity Fair's article this month, but I will also leave a link in the description down below to an article that CBR ran about how the Broadway production of The Lion King is the best production and version of the story that there is. You may have noticed that throughout this video I mentioned changes in the production, and that's because, like with Wicked, I have seen the show multiple times across its run, and I noticed the little changes that other people might not. But in all honesty, the story really hasn't changed from the original Broadway production, and it is just as magical as always, and I got to re-experience that magic when I took my little cousins and their parents to the show with my mom for one of their birthdays a few years ago. Disney on Broadway also did a wonderful collaboration with ESPN Sports where they watched certain performers and measured how fast they are dancing and how high they're jumping, and I will leave a link to that down below. I already mentioned how Simba and Hakuna Matata are the lone instances of Swahili in the show, and the other African lyrics are all in Zulu, but when Rafiki in the show is not speaking English, she is actually speaking Xhosa, which is the language in South Africa that is, in addition to Afrikaans and Zulu, it is identified by all of its cliques. Xhosa is also the language of Wakanda because actor Chadwick Boseman, who unfortunately passed away recently, decided to use the language to honor the actor who played Black Panther's father, John Kani, because he is South African, and you can hear the Wakandans speaking Xhosa in Captain America Civil War and in Black Panther and in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. On the Lion King special features, either in the DVD or on iTunes, you can watch the animated 1994 film entirely in Zulu but not in Swahili or Xhosa. Despite the horrific and tragic murder of Mufasa, I personally never found the animated 1994 film or the Broadway version or even the 2019 film to be traumatizing, and the spirituality of the story, in addition to the wonderful music, has been something that I've always loved about The Lion King, and it is the reason it is my second favorite musical of all time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell icon down below so you don't miss any future videos from me. I make videos about musical theater like the one you just saw and about my writing. I also host writing sprints 3 times a week for this month of November and NaNoWriMo. I host them on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also want to thank everyone for helping me reach 600 subscribers. It's happened very quickly, and I am incredibly grateful to everyone who is watching my videos and coming to my live streams. I love you all, and I hope to see you on another live stream and with another video very soon. Bye!